everybody, welcome to G for G. This is Daypom Dawn, and today this is my second video as the fire truck goes by. The second video that I've done about Magic Legends over here. The reason it's the second video is because in the first video, the cat had stepped across the keyboard and turned on the Death Knight voice to my microphone, and the entire video was done in a Death Knight voice, which could be interesting, but maybe not to everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and redo this. So, Magic Legends. This is a game that is over on Perfect World. That is who Wizards of the Coast has decided to team up with in producing it, and it is on the Epic Game Store, and it may be on Arc too. I think it is on the Arc client, which is the Perfect World client. Anybody who knows anything about games knows that Perfect World is generally a curse, and when Motiga brought Gigantic over to Perfect World, that's what everybody was afraid of after Microsoft stopped working with Motiga on it, and sure enough it was. It went over to Perfect World to have a Windows version, and when it did that, the game eventually did die. And it was really a shame because Gigantic was quite cool. And it wound up being, oh, overworld encounter reset warning, the mythic. Huh. Thanks for showing your code. I'm just going through Maniula's story over there. So, if you're not that familiar with the game, and I wouldn't fault you for not knowing about this game, it is a Diablo-esque game, an action RPG that is set within the Magic universe. And your abilities, quote-unquote, similar to the early days of Paladins, similar to a game called Amazing Eternals by Digital Extremes, which was formerly called Keystone. Your abilities are cards, and when you use one, the card goes away into the deck, and then you pull random new cards. If we were to look at the character sheet over here, here are the different character types that you have. You have the Pyromancer, the Beast Caller, Necromancer, which is what I'm playing, Mind Mage, Geomancer, Sanctifier. There was a other class that you could play if you spent money, and then there was a time-limited class that I think if you did some quests or played the game at a certain period of time, you could open up this other class that was available. These, as you can tell, are largely based around Magic's colors or mana. Red, green, black, blue. Geomancer, I'm not exactly too sure what it associates with, and Sanctifier is white. You have gear that you equip. You have a helm, a chest, gloves, boot, and 2 rings. You have these artifacts that you equip and do something. You have your class, you have your traits, and you have your deck, which is your loadout. Originally, you're only going to get cards within your color, so that's why you can see that predominantly most of these are black. However, I do have a green one in here for mana regen, but we're going to talk about that in a second. And then I now have some others, like some infamous reds, well-known reds like Flame Tongue Kavu, and some greens and everything like that. I think I want to take out Rampant Growth because I don't really ever run low on mana, and that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to move the Flame Tongue Kavu in there instead, because I like my summons. 12 creature points. Okay. So let's just put a regular... Okay. So we've got a regular red sorcery spell in there. So like I was saying, this is essentially a Diablo-esque game, a Path of Exile, a Grim Dawn, a game like that, except it's set in the Magic universe, and your abilities come from the spells that you saw in my library. You have a basic attack and shift, and clicking will do the typical ARPG thing of staying still and attacking from here. In my case, it's this sort of whip attack. I have a basic ability of summoning skeletons, and then I can consume them to buff a necromantic aura, which is an AoE pulse around me. So the reason why we're talking about this game today, when I've already covered this game before, is because it is already declared to be a dead game. I don't mean, oh, the numbers are low, dead game, la la la. We're not talking about that. I mean, actually, Wizards of the Coast has said this game is dead. That it will end now in October. That means the game really didn't even make it out of beta and didn't even have 6 months of life. Huh, I am near a rift. Let me focus on getting this rift. So this is an interesting thing about the game, is that just by walking around, you may find portals like this, and you go through them. When you go through them, if you have summons out, they are reset, but they are essentially like a quick little instanced dungeon. And how you go about the game is that the game gives you spells along the way, generally within your color, but then you have the ability to get shards of the spell. So as you can see here, I can actually upgrade this one because I'm 162 out of 160. So I upgrade the spell for some of my ether, and I now have a rank 2 of the spell, and it resets to 2 out of 240. So why is this game on its way out? Well, interestingly enough, I was at a card shop today. The girlfriend decided to put on reserve a box of special Pokemon cards. We went over there today, and, you know, they have a ton of magic cards behind the counter, maybe because they're afraid of people stealing them. I kind of wouldn't mind it in front, so I can actually pick them up and look at some of the things, instead of saying, oh, can I see this, or can I see that? But anyway, while we were there, I asked the guy, one of the guys behind the counter, I said, so hey, how has Friday Night Magic survived the pandemic? And he said, well, we stopped it for a while at first, but then we did a remote Friday Night Magic, and now lately with everybody getting double vaxxed and how things have been, we are doing it in person again. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I brought up this game, because he had brought up the main Magic the Gathering arena game. And I said, you know, do you know about Legends? He's like, I kind of think I do. I'm not too sure. I said, it's the one that's like a Diablo-like. He's like, oh, yeah. I remember that. I said, it's already being shut down. I was like, I'm kind of not surprised. It's not a really good game. And I said, yeah, it's more for the people who know Magic than people looking for the next best Diablo-style game. It's like, it's not even a good Magic game. It's not even a good Diablo game. I, in some ways, kind of disagree with it. I think it is this is my favorite spell in the game, except he walked out of it. I think it's a fun enough game. I like the premise that it's going for. You know, I like getting extremely well-known classic Magic cards, like that Flame Tongue Kavu. I mean, Kavus are so well known of fans of red mana decks and everything. That part of it is fun. I don't even really care if I upgrade a spell. I mean, that's cool if I can, but I think just getting the spell is fun in and of itself, and more fun than upgrading it. As far as the Diablo game goes, what I wish is that the UI would tell you the name of the spell down here. Because some of these I recognize, like Abyssal Flame is my favorite spell in the game. I know this one when it comes up. The summons, I know them when they come up too, because they tend to be very unique. But a lot of the other sorceries and other castable spells, I don't... It's hard to remember which ones they are, what their area effect is. So I kind of wish the UI would be a little bit better. But that's just a small gripe with the game. Otherwise, I actually kind of like it. It's just I don't have enough hours in the day to play this game as much as I would like, with Overwatch and World of Warcraft's new patch and trying to get into Marvel Avengers and my mobile games and things like that. So, but I like it. As you can see here, I mean, I'm level 12. And leveling is slow in this, so to get to be level 12, you have to put some hours in this. I think I might be near Reliquary again. Am I getting further from it? Yes. So, you have to have put time in it to get past 10. And I think it's a fun enough game. I think it's decent. I am sorry to see it go. But I think one of the biggest issues people had with this, and this is perhaps why it's dying, is they had a very confusing monetary scheme to the game. And I think a time-limited character is a ridiculous way to go. Because I wasn't playing it, and I read it in my mail. Log in now and you can be this class and keep this class forever. And I was like, well, that's shit. It's basically over. And I put it in the sense of World of Warcraft and thought, gee, that would suck. So back in like 2008 was Wrath of the Lich King. And, excuse me there, a little bit of a peanut from a peanut M&M got, like, stuck in a corner of my throat over there. So 2008, 2009 was like Wrath of the Lich King. That was when Death Knights came out. Can you imagine if somebody in 2021 installs World of Warcraft, they're like, oh, hey, you play World of Warcraft, you're my friend, I want to go play that with you. And they really like Death Knights, and they can never roll that character ever again because that period of World of Warcraft is gone. Like, Wrath of the Lich King is gone, so you can't make a Death Knight. That's horrible. That's stupid. Yes, you need to have a main who's at least level 58 in order to roll a Death Knight, but at least the character is available. You can eventually make a Death Knight, or a Monk, or a Pandaren, or a Demon Hunter, any of the expansion classes. A Blood Elf that is a Paladin thanks to the Burning Crusade, or a Draenei that is a Shaman. If that was time restricted and you could never roll one of those ever again in World of Warcraft's history, everybody would be having a fit. So for this game to do it, I think that is one of the things that was the death knell of the game. There was also the character that was... you had to pay money in order to be able to get it. I think it was kind of like a rogue character. I think the monetization was really one of the things that killed this game. I find it fun, no matter what the guy... what am I in combat with? There's a red bar here. You know, no matter what the guy at the card store said, I think it's kind of a fun game. I think it adheres to Magic's principles, that white decks run around with like a lot of knights and angels, and I'm running around with skeletons and zombies, and maybe eventually I'd even get like a vampire summon, which would be cool as shit. I have this Thrall, or the Thrall, excuse me. One of my favorite summons because he basically licks people to death. He sticks out his tongue and grabs them in. But, yeah. Unfortunately, the game is set to die in October. They have disabled money transactions, and now everything in the marketplace is accessible by spending the currency you get in the game, which is the ether. I see no mention anymore of that class that you could only get with money. I thought it was here under featured. It seems to be gone now. I think it began with a V. You can't spend Zen on the game anymore, really. I mean, if you were not paying... look at how fantastical these prices are. I'm level 12, 78k ether, never spent any of it, and these things are wildly out of range for me over here. None of a character... I can rename a character. So yeah, the game is going under. If you have any interest in playing Magic Legends over here, you have from now to October to try it. And apparently I'm refining some ether somehow just by standing still. Yeah, if you have any desire to play the game, you may as well spend some of the summer trying to do it, because you will lose access to it in October, and I think it's worth a little bit of your time. A fan of the channel, Darth Plato, said way back when my first video came out, he said, this is not Magic. This is not Magic at all. And it is a... you know, it's a respectable opinion. Could this game exist without a Magic license and somebody just doing random spells and summons as your abilities down here and not have magic names or magic related cards like goblins or worms, the big worms from green decks, and spiders and everything like that? Yes. Yeah, it absolutely could be. Would it be a good game without the Magic license? It depends. I kind of have fun with this game. I think, visually speaking, it's better looking than Grim Dawn, and I've played a lot of Grim Dawn over the years, especially if the internet goes out, because it is a offline game. But I wouldn't play this over Diablo. I would play it over some of the Diablo lights, the other ARPGs that I have encountered in my life. So get in while the getting's good. Get it over on the Epic Games Store, and say goodbye to it in October. The sad fate of Magic Legends. Maybe Nerd Slayer will have this on Death of a Game at some point soon. I hope he will, because I would like to see what he points to as the clues for why the game died. I'd love to see his analysis on it. So, take care everybody. Thanks for watching the video.